name is Jane Thompson. I'm the Science Curriculum Specialist for the Gulfport School District. Today I want to share with you The Lorax by Dr. Seuss. At the far end of town, where the grickle grass grows, and the wind smells slow and sour when it blows, and no birds ever sing excepting old crows, is the street of the lifted Lorax. And deep in the grickle grass, some people say, if you look deep enough, you can still see today, where the Lorax once stood just as long as it could before somebody lifted the Lorax away. What was the Lorax, and why was it there? And why was it lifted and taken somewhere? From the far end of town where the grickle grass grows, the old Onceler still lives here. Ask him, he knows. You won't see the Onceler, don't knock at his door. He stays in his lurkum on top of his store. He lurks in his lurkum, cold under the roof, where he makes his own clothes out of muffered moof. On special dank midnights in August, he peeks out of the shutters, and sometimes he speaks and tells how the Lorax was lifted away. He'll tell you, perhaps, if you're willing to pay. On the end of a rope, he lets down a tin pail, and you have to toss in 15 cents and a nail, and the shell of a great-great-great-grandfather snail. Then he pulls up the pail, makes a most careful count, to see if you paid him the proper amount. Then he hides what you paid him away in his snub, a secret strange hole in his grubbleless glove. Then he grunts, I will call you by whisper my phone, for the secrets I tell you are for your ears alone. Slup! Down slups the whisper my phone to your ear, and the old Onceler whispers are not very clear, since they have to come down through the snurgly hose, and he sounds as if he had smallish bees up his nose. Now I'll tell you, he says, with his teeth sounding gray, how the Lorax got lifted and taken away. It all started way back, such a long, long time back. Way back in the days when the grass was still green, and the pond was still wet, and the clouds were still clean, and the song of the swami swans rang out in space. One morning I came to this glorious place. And at first I saw the trees, the truffula trees, the bright-colored tufts of the truffula trees, mile after mile in the fresh morning breeze. And under the trees I saw brown barbaloots frisking about in their barbaloot suits as they played in the shade and ate truffula fruits. From the ripulous pond came the comfortable sound of the humming fish humming while splashing around. But those trees, those truffula trees, all my life I've been searching for trees such as these. The touch of their tufts was much softer than silk, and they had the sweet smell of fresh butterfly milk. I felt a great leaping of joy in my heart. I knew what I'd do. I unloaded my cart. In no time at all, I had built a small shop. Then I chopped down a truffula tree with one chop. And with great skillful skill and with great speedy speed, I took the soft tuft and I knitted a thneed. The instant I'd finished, I heard a gazump. I looked, I saw something pop out of the stump of the tree I'd chopped down. It was sort of a man. Describe him? That's hard. I don't know if I can. He was shortish and oldish and brownish and mossy. He spoke with a voice that was sharpish and bossy. Mister, he said, with a sawdusty sneeze, I am the Lorax. I speak for the trees. I speak for the trees have no tongues. I am asking you, sir, at the top of my lungs. He was very upset as he shouted and puffed. What's that thing you've made out of my truffula tuft? Look, Lorax, I said, there's no cause for alarm. I chopped just one tree. I am doing no harm. I am being quite useful. This thing is a thneed. A thneed is a fine something that all people need. It's a shirt, it's a sock, it's a glove, it's a hat. But it has other uses, yes, far beyond that. You can use it for carpets, for pillows, for sheets, or curtains, or covers, or bicycle seats. The Lorax said, "Sir, you are crazy with greed. There is no one on earth who would buy that full need." But the very next minute, I proved he was wrong. For just at that minute, a chap came along, and he thought that the need I had knitted was great. He happily bought it for $3.98. I laughed at the Lorax. "You poor stupid guy. You never can tell what some people will buy." "I repeat," cried the Lorax, "I speak for the trees." "I'm busy," I told him. "Shut up, if you please." I rushed across the room and in no time at all built a radio phone. I put in a quick call. I called all my brothers and uncles and aunts, and I said, "Listen here. Here's a wonderful chance for the whole Onceler family to get mighty rich. Get over here fast. Take the road north niche. Turn left at Weehawken, sharp right at South Stitch." And in no time at all, in the factory I built, the whole Onceler family was working full tilt. We were all knitting thneeds, just as busy as bees, to the sound of the chopping of truffula trees. Then, oh baby, oh, how my business did grow. Now chopping one tree at a time was too slow. So quickly I invented my super axe hacker, which whacked off 4 truffula trees at one smacker. We were making thneeds 4 times as fast before, and that Lorax, he didn't show up anymore. But the next week, he knocked on my new office door. He snapped, "I'm the Lorax who speaks for the trees, which you seem to be chopping as fast as you please. But I'm also in charge of the brown barbaloots who played in the shade in their barbaloot suits and happily lived eating truffula fruits. Now, thanks to your hacking my trees to the ground, there's not enough truffle fruit to go around, and my poor barbaloots are getting the crummies because they have gas and no food in their tummies. They loved living here, but I can't let them stay. They'll have to find food, and I hope that they may. Good luck, boys," he cried, and he sent them away. I, the Onceler, felt sad as I watched them all go, but business is business, and business must grow, regardless of crummies and tummies, you know. I meant no harm, I most truly did not, but I had to grow bigger, so bigger I got. I biggered my factory, I biggered my roads, I biggered my wagons, I biggered the loads. Of the needs I shipped out, I was shipping them forth, to the south, to the east, to the west, to the north. I went right on biggering, selling more needs. I biggered my money, which everyone needs. Then again he came back. I was fixing some pipes when that old nuisance Lorax came back with more gripes. "I am the Lorax," he coughed and he whiffed. He sneezed and he snuffled. He snargled, he sniffed. "Onceler," he cried with a cruffless croak. "Onceler, you're making such smogulous smoke. My poor swami swans, why they can't sing a note. No one can sing who has smog in his throat." And so said the Lorax, "Please pardon my cough. They cannot live here, so I'm sending them off. Where will they go? I don't hopefully know. They may have to fly for a month or a year to escape the smog you've smogged up around here." "What's more," snapped the Lorax, his dander was up, "let me say a few words about gluppity-glup. Your machine chugs on day and night without stop, making gluppity-glup, also sloppity-slop. And what do you do with this leftover goo? I'll show you, you dirty old Onceler man, you. You're glumping the pond where the humming fish hummed. No more can they hum, for their gills are all gummed. So I'm sending them off. Oh, their future is dreary. They'll walk on their fins and get woefully weary, in search of some water that isn't so smeary." And then I got mad. I got terribly mad. I yelled at the Lorax, "Now listen here, Dad. All you do is yap, yap, and say, bad, 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 bad. Well, I have my rights, sir, and I'm telling you, I intend to go on doing just what I do. And for your information, you Lorax, I'm figuring on biggering and biggering and biggering and biggering, turning more truffly truffula trees into needs, which everyone needs. And at that very moment, we heard a loud whack. From the outside in the fields came a sickening smack. The axe on a tree. Then we heard the tree fall, the very last truffula tree of them all. It's the last one. No more trees, no more needs, no more work to be done. So in no time, my uncles and aunts and everyone all waved goodbye. They jumped into my cars and drove away under the smoke-smuggered stars. Now all that was left beneath the bad-smelling sky was my big empty factory, the Lorax, and I. The Lorax said nothing, just gave me a glance, just gave me a very sad backwards glance as he lifted himself by the seat of his pants, and I'll never forget the grim look on his face when he hoisted himself and took leave of this place, through a hole in the smog without leaving a trace. And all that the Lorax left here in this mess was a small pile of rocks with one word, unless. Whatever that meant, well, I just couldn't guess. That was long ago, but each day since that day, I've sat here and worried away. Through the years, while my buildings have fallen apart, I've worried about it with all of my heart. But now, says the Onceler, now that you're here, the word of the Lorax seems perfectly clear. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not. So, catch, calls the Onceler. He lets something fall. It's a truffula seed. It's the last one of all. You're in charge of the last of the truffula seeds, and truffula trees are what everyone needs. Plant a new truffula, treat it with care. Give it clean water and feed it fresh air. Grow a forest, protect it from axes that hack. Then the Lorax and all of his friends may come back. Thank you for reading Dr. Seuss's The Lorax with me. The next story we're going to read is from the point of view of the Lorax. The Lorax worked so hard to protect his brown barbaloots, his swammy swams, and his humming fish from the Onceler who was cutting down all of the truffula trees. We're going to talk about ways that we can protect our environment and help keep our earth clean and well taken care of. We just met the Lorax, and we found out how passionate he was about protecting his environment and the truffula trees. Let's read this story, How to Help the Earth by a Lorax. He'll give us some advice about ways that we can protect our environment. This book was written by Tish Robb and illustrated by Christopher Maroney and Jan Girardi. Hello, I'm the Lorax. I speak for the trees and the fish and the birds, and I'm asking you please to help out the earth. I'm counting on you. Together I know there's a lot we can do. First, I have a question, and I need to ask it. Do you know where the trash goes that's in your wastebasket? It goes out to the curb, then a dump truck comes by, heaped with big piles of trash that are smelly and high. Some days after that, these big piles of trash will be buried or dumped in a giant landfill. Some of the garbage that's dumped there will rot, but most of the garbage that's dumped there will not. Some cities burn trash, but this trash solution creates lots of smoke, which creates air pollution. The good news? Things don't have to go on this way. We can reduce trash. We can start right away. Take your lunch in a bag, but don't throw it away. Use the bag or a lunch box again the next day. Use both sides of your paper, and I have no doubt there will be much less paper for you to throw out. When you've read magazines and you no longer need them, pass them to your friends so they'll get to read them. Rather than tossing your old clothes, toys, and shoes, donate them. They're things other people can use. Put used soda cans in a recycling bin. Rinse them out when they're empty and throw them right in. They'll be made into new cans. This can I have here is made from old cans I recycled last year. Paper clips, rubber bands, buttons, and screws are things you will find that are easy to reuse. Put these things in a drawer so they're all in one place. They'll be easy to find and they won't take up much space. When dead batteries are dumped, this is a fact I have found. The chemicals in them leak into the ground. Use rechargeable batteries, charge them, and then, when they run out of power, just charge them again. In helping the earth, you can take it from me. We need to find ways to use less energy. Energy powers cars. It creates heat and light. Made from gas, coal, and oil, we burn day and night. These are natural resources, and there's a limit to how much of them our whole earth has within it. We need to use less, and I just have to say, there are ways to use less energy every day. When you leave a room, stop and turn off the light. Be sure to turn off your computer at night. When it's cold, wear a sweatshirt, and take the time, please, to turn down the heat just a couple degrees. When you're doing your homework or starting to read, sunlight through a window may be all that you need. Animals and plants, all things alive, need to have water. It's how we survive. So water is something we need to save too. There are ways we can save it. I'll show you a few. When you get up each morning and stand at the sink and start brushing your teeth, take a moment to think. A lot of clean water is going to waste while you reach for your toothbrush and squeeze on toothpaste. Right down the drain this clean water is going, so turn off the faucet and stop it from flowing. Spend less time in the shower and you'll still get clean. Try a 4-minute shower, you'll see what I mean. To help out the earth, please do something for me. Find a place that's near you and then go plant a tree. Trees provide shelter and oxygen too. So plant lots of trees. That's what I always do. If we work together, the earth will get better. The land will be clearer. If we work together, the earth will get better. The land will be clearer. The soil will be wetter. The sun will shine brighter. The trees will be greener. The sky will be bluer. The air will be cleaner. And next time I speak for the trees, fish, and birds, I know in my heart I'll need only 2 words. For all that you've done and for all that you do, I'm the Lorax, and I say a great big thank you. Thanks for learning about the Lorax with me today. Now take some time and make a list at home of things you can do around your house to help the earth.